Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run.
Welcome to be my guest. This is Jan Lewis, your host. Today we have from Hopkinton, right? We have Gretchen Gray. And Gretchen is the treasurer of the Quiet Corner chapter of a rug hooking group from Woodstock, Connecticut. This I read about in the Blackstone Valley Express. And you have an event coming up. When is this coming up, Gretchen?
It's coming up in a couple of weeks on June 16th at the Woodstock Fairgrounds at the in the agricultural building, the barn, from 9 to 3.
How long have you been doing this?
I started in 1989.
Just a kid?
Just a kid, yes.
Who got you interested?
Well, my son passed away in May of 89, and a few months after that, my husband's cousin, who had been doing rug hooking for about 8 years, came over with a frame, with a pattern, all the material, and said, "Gretchen, I think you would like to do this." And it took my mind off of other things, and since then, I haven't put a hook down.
How did you find the group in Woodstock?
That's where my cousin Carol has been going since the early 80s.
Since you've been there since the early 80s?
When we started in 89, I think there were only 8 or 10 of us, and now we've grown to either somewhere between 30 and 40 members.
How long a trip is it from Hopkinton to Woodstock, Connecticut?
An hour, exactly an hour.
Okay. Do you meet at night, during the day?
During the day.
Once a week, a month, or?
Well, we have meetings once a month, the third Saturday of every month except for July and August.
Right.
And so if anybody's interested, it's at the Whispering Hill Farm. And Donna Swanson is our instructor.
Yeah.
And she's been doing it for 40 or 50 years.
Well, I remember getting a rug hooking, cute little design when my son was born. His paternal grandmother hadn't quite finished it, I don't think, but it was really cute, the blue and the white and everything all in it. And I still got it. I remember seeing it thinking, this looks like it must be a lot of fun. But we're going to take a look at what Gretchen has done. What's the first one that you did, Gretchen?
Well, this is what Carol brought over to me.
What is that, a dog? Or?
That's of a moose.
Let's hook that up.
A moose, and star, flower, and a moon. And she brought the material to do this and wanted me to practice on this so I would get an idea of how to go around a circle and make a point and so forth.
So rug hooking involves?
Wool material, 100% wool material.
Yeah.
Cut in strips. Depending on, this is a primitive, called a primitive, and it's cut on a size 8 cut. If you want more detail, you would go down to a 6 or a 4 to have more detail.
This was your very first one in the 80s?
This was my very first, and it's my son's favorite of all the ones I've made.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
Now, you brought in, there's another one right beside you. She's also going to show us the tools of the trade, too. So those of us who are just learning about this, it fascinates me.
My son
rug hooking
loves lighthouses.
Yeah.
So I did this of the Portland Light.
Portland, Maine?
Portland,
I
Maine.
was born there.
Oh, okay. And this one I really enjoy doing for 2 things: to get the seaweed effect on the rocks, and also to get the storm, to have a stormy sky.
Yeah. Did you have a pattern you had to follow?
Yes.
She's going to show us what patterns
but
are.
But it's not a color by number. You have to put in the colors you want.
You have to do it yourself.
You have to.
How long did it take you to make this?
This one was probably 6 months.
That's a long
But it was
time.
when I was working.
You have a lot of patience.
I worked 8 to 5. So
that is beautiful. So that's up in Portland at the Portland Light. Show us some of the tools that you use. We're going to show too also a huge carpet that she brought in. Show us
when you first start, you need to have something to hook on, and this is called a lap frame. This is what a lot of people start with.
Can you let's turn it around so there we go. Look, did you make it or did you buy it?
No, I bought it.
You bought it. Here you go.
Whoa, and it has grippers on it that holds
it's heavy.
holds the linen on there. And the secret is to pull it tight when you put it on. And this is what a pattern looks like before you start hooking. I don't know which is up. That's what the plain pattern looks like. And then you just pull it
Tight.
Pull it real tight, like Donna would say, like a drum.
And you don't have to clamp it.
You don't have to clamp it at all. But
How
you
much
want it,
does a frame cost?
well, when I first started, I started with a Puritan frame, which was a floor frame with something like this on top that you could take off.
Yeah.
And that I paid $80 for. Now you can pay $300
Oh, wow.
for them.
Can you make your own?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes, you can. Actually, my husband's cousin Carol's husband made my first frame for me that I made that right
How
on.
did he get it to stay put? Like this has those little grooves, but how did you make it to stay on? Like Velcro?
Use thumbtacks.
It's okay to put thumbtacks in it?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So if you used soft wood
Yeah.
as the upper frame here,
Yeah.
that would take you want to use the wide-headed thumbtacks,
Right.
then you just tack it in and hold it. So that's an inexpensive way of somebody really starting out.
Yeah.
Because it is an expensive hobby
Yeah,
until
definitely.
you get going.
That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got some tools here that look
Then
like
I
a
brought-
dentist chair. They
Well,
look like a pull your teeth out.
I couldn't find all of my hooks, which sort of disappoints me, but there's this small hook.
Yeah.
This is what you would use for fine hooking, for very narrow.
But how do you wrap the yarn around
Well,
it?
I'll show you. And then they have this that you use as it's a bent hook and it just pokes through.
Sure.
But this is my favorite, and this is what I've used for whether I'm doing fine hooking or wide hook. It's called a pencil hook.
Yeah.
And it's tapered, so the hole, depending on how large a hole you want to make,
Yeah.
you would poke it down and it makes a bigger hole.
Huh.
And then, depending on the strips,
Now this is wool yarn, right?
no, it's
No?
wool material.
Material. Do you have to cut it in strips yourself?
I have I have cutters. They're called cutters.
Yeah. But would new people starting out, would they have to have
Okay, yeah, no, well, they can actually take a piece of wool material and cut it to the width they want to use
Yeah.
and just tear it. That's how the people did it when they first started.
Was that called rag rug? No, not rag rugging.
No.
Rugging.
No.
Say that fast.
Yeah. No, it's
It's a whole different thing.
whole different thing.
And this
yeah.
you cut yourself with your
With a machine.
Okay.
Mhm. This is an 8, which is a fairly wide cut. And I bought this just for demonstration. This is sort of awkward for me. But,
like me to hold it?
well, I have to, okay, maybe. All right, so you put it down,
Yeah.
you hold the wool between your thumb and your index finger, and put it down underneath. You poke the hook through, and you are hooking the wool over the hook.
Ha-
And then you just go in rows or however
Yeah.
and just keep
That
going like
requires a lot of patience.
this. Yes.
You can do it while you watch TV.
Yes. Oh yes, and what I have a floor frame at home
Yeah.
that I have set up, and I have my rug that I'm working on it.
Yeah.
So whenever I have free time, that's where I
And
I
this
had-
is portable. You can take this one anywhere.
This-
Like, where would you
right.
take this?
This is where I take to go to class at Donna's,
Okay.
rather than
there's-
taking my big frame.
Oh, so there's classes in Woodstock.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes, we meet, like I said, every third Saturday of the month, but Donna also has classes, or what's called hook-ins, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at her home.
In Woodstock.
In Woodstock.
What times?
Well, I think Tuesday is Tuesday evening. It used to be. That I'm not sure of, because I haven't gone on a Tuesday. But Thursday, it's 10 to 2 as well.
10 to 2.
But they can check if they just go on to,
Tell people how they can
if they just Google Whispering Hill, and it'll, in Connecticut, Woodstock, Connecticut, it will come up, and it'll be listed right there about her classes.
How can they reach you, Gretchen?
I can be reached at by emailing Gretch, GRETCHG, at Verizon.net. If anyone has any questions, if I have somebody out there that's interested in getting started with rug hooking, I'd love to help them out.
I bet you're a very patient teacher. So you know how some people radiate? We're talking with Gretchen Gray, and she is the treasurer of a rug hooking chapter called Quiet Corner in Woodstock. Don't let that fool you. It's not that far away.
Right.
So go ahead, show us some.
Well, so you can't really see when I'm have my finger under there. So when I'm poking through, you have to actually hook. You can feel the wool underneath. You're threading this piece of wool onto the hook and then pulling it up.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's another thing. Oh no, I'm thinking cross stitching. Okay, that's a lot quicker than this would be, right? This is a little more intricate.
Well, I can go pretty quick. You can go pretty quickly once you it's the detail that takes more time.
Do you get orders like custom people look at your beautiful work and they say, I want a carpet, can you do this for me?
I've had people, but then I say, I don't think you could afford what I would have to charge.
I won't put them on the floor. Any rug hooking that I have found goes on the wall. I don't want to walk on it.
They actually, believe it or not, they look better after they've been walked on. Because it takes after you finish doing a rug, you need to press it. Yeah. Because it has bumps in it and so forth. Press it and lay it on the floor and
we're going to show you now. We're going to move the camera. We're going to show you this humongous carpet that Gretchen has rug hooked, made herself. Come on down. I will hold it from this end. You grab that end. And how long did it take you to make rug hook this one?
This one was a year.
A year?
Mm-hmm.
And this
is called Our Town.
Any town in particular?
No, it's just titled Our Town.
Our Town.
With the church. Yeah. Church, different buildings. It does the cemetery, schoolhouse.
Sounds like our town here.
An inn, pigs, cows, horses, carriages.
I can picture you sitting in front of a TV or relaxing at night. Did you do that a lot when you made it?
I watch TV or have it on in the background anyway for sound.
Now that's a big rug. Now I could not put that on the floor. I would have that hanging in my living room.
Well, I have a couple, one of my favorite rugs that I did is a wall hanging that we're very fortunate to have a woman who specialized in hooking animals come up from the Carolinas and teach us. And
was that hard to do?
Well, before she came, I took a picture of schnauzers on a bench and sent it down to her, and she transferred it onto the linen and then taught me how to hook it. And that's one of my favorites.
That's the one.
I really wanted to bring that today, but it's
Do you have a pet at home, like a dog or a cat?
No.
Is that people ask you a lot about that? I have a cat or a pet, a dog, and I want to do a rug hook of it?
Well, I had someone, actually my former boss's wife said, could you hook our cat for us? And I said, yes, I probably could.
Where do people get the, you showed us the pattern. Is it Muslim, the pattern, the material?
Linen.
What?
There's linen or another type is monk's cloth. There are different types depending on what size cut of wool you're going to try and hook through the hole.
If you're a beginner and there was a cute picture of a cat or a dog, and you would go where to buy that?
I would go to Donna's at Whispering
You would
Hill.
go there, okay. Mm-hmm. So places like Michael's and Joann's, maybe no, don't go there.
They wouldn't have it.
They wouldn't. She's got everything right. She's got a store right there.
She has a store there. There are many other stores. I mean, if people went on to rug hooking, just Googled rug hooking, there are many stores listed, shops where people could go,
Yeah.
depending on where they lived. If they lived in New Hampshire or
Sure.
Maine or whatever, they're all listed.
I can see doing this. You know how we all wait very often, a long time in the doctor's office, in the waiting room. I can see doing this, and they're getting a lot of new friends. They're like, wow, what are you doing?
Oh, I actually, my husband had major surgery several years ago, and I knew I'd be in the hospital for 5 or 6 hours waiting for him, and so I took, I think it was the dogs that I had with me that day, and I had more people come up, and the time just flew by being able to share my experience with them.
Did they ask you if you would make something for them? I'd be one of the first to ask you.
Yeah, oh yes. I mean, there are lots of people that would love me. I mean, I haven't even given any of my
You haven't given them away at all? No, you've kept them
No.
all.
No,
So your family has seen, you have 3 children.
I had 3 children.
You had 3 children. What did the 2 that are living now think about your rug hooking?
Oh, they love it.
They
know,
do.
and they're probably just saying, "Oh, I think I'll put my name on that one," and
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's going to be mine. And,
Do you know, Gretchen, when you start out, what you want to do? Like, okay, I finished this one. Now I want to try this one. Do you go to her store and try a different one?
oh, I have a lot of yes, and she teases us. Not, I don't know if the teases isn't the word, but she shows us more rugs patterns that she's recently bought.
Yeah.
And show and tell, and
Hard to resist.
hard to resist. And I'm thinking of the 30 I have back home, and okay, should I add one more to it? And
Are you working on one right now?
I am.
What is it? What's the design?
It's hard to describe. It's sort of a pot. It's a pot with flowers coming out of it, with a lot of greenery on both sides, and then a border of flowers going around the edge. And that's
What are the
larger
colors?
than that one.
What are you going to use for colors?
The vase is a sort of a brownish color, and then the flowers are sort of in a antique red and gold.
Yeah.
And I like doing sort of antique looking rugs when I do
Yeah, I'm looking at
the primitive
Yeah,
or the primitive.
the first one you did
Yeah,
there.
that
the primitive
that I
is-
like.
You know, I can see, I know you don't want it, but I can see these actually in like a dentist office. They need a rug, a beautiful carpet.
Oh yes.
Or, up the street, the eye surgeon, or even on the wall in like a lawyer's office. There's an awful lot of potential out there.
Well, actually one of my patients several years ago. She's an interior decorator.
Yeah.
And she said to me, "Oh, Gretchen, I was thinking about you, and you may be making a rug for one of my clients."
Yeah. What'd you say? You say yes?
I said, "Well, it depends on what they want and so forth." But I
Did you do it?
Didn't pursue it.
You didn't pursue it.
She didn't pursue it.
Oh.
So
See,
yeah.
but that's like that's a red flag, like where you can go with this. Gretchen, again, how can people reach you?
People can reach me at Gretch, GRETCHG, at Verizon.net.
And the upcoming event is June 16th, Saturday, 9 to 3, at the Woodstock Fairgrounds in Woodstock, Connecticut. How would people get there from here?
Well, probably the best thing is to Google it.
How do you
go down 395 and get off in Thompson, which is Route 200, and then head south to Putnam and Woodstock.
Okay, I know Putnam now. Putnam's exit.
It's right beside Woodstock.
So I remember going down to Putnam on 395. Is that an exit before or after Thompson? Is it after?
After.
Okay.
I don't. I usually cut through from here.
Yeah.
I go all the back roads. I go through
Douglas?
here, Whitensville, Douglas,
yeah.
Thompson, by the Thompson
Webster?
Speedway.
Catch Webster?
No.
No?
But you can go Webster to get 395,
Sure.
and then go south.
What is it like? What are those Woodstock Fairgrounds like? Do they do everything, not just rug hooking?
Oh yes, they have a fair over Labor Day.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, 4 or 5 days long. But I want to also say that we're having this is called a hook-in on Saturday the 16th, where about 80 people that do rug hooking will be coming to do their rugs.
Right there at the fair.
Right there in the barn. And we'll have 9 vendors selling wool material and so forth to hook rugs, but we'll also have a couple of vendors. One vendor that is going to be selling punch needle.
I've seen, yeah.
Mhm.
Is that an easier way to do it?
Well, that's a different punch needle.
Okay.
Mostly is done for making little pictures or pins.
Yeah.
Are done by punch hooking.
Okay.
And then someone else is bringing things made out of glass, which I think will be very interesting.
Mosaics?
No, it's from buttons, earrings, sushi plates, all
decorated.
all big variety of things that I think people that aren't interested in rug hooking, that will come just to see what we do, might be interested in.
Is there, Gretchen, is there a fee to get into the Woodstock Fair?
For our show, if people want to come to hook for the day, it's $15.
Okay.
And that gives them, it's a $10 for admission, but it gives them also a ticket, a raffle ticket, towards a basket that we're going to have that's worth over $300.
So it's $10 if you're just a regular person coming in.
No. It's $15 if you're a rug hooker.
Okay.
But if you want to just come in to see people hooking,
Or just to keep see the whole fair.
right, just to
Walk
see
around.
our because it's only happening within our barn.
Okay.
The whole fair is not open, just the fairground
Okay,
for the barn.
Yeah.
And but people can come in and pay $5 just to see all the people that are hooking and the vendors and so forth.
Rug hooking. Oh my! I wonder how far does this go back?
Well, it goes way back to a Dr. Grenfell, who was a doctor from England, who came over to Newfoundland by boat to take care of the people in Newfoundland. And they had no means to pay him for his services, so they ended up making mats out of nylon stockings.
Oh my God!
And he would take them back to England and sell them, and that's how he made his money.
And they had nylons. Was this in the 1700s?
This was in the 1800s.
And they had nylon stockings in the 1800s.
But they were just plain colored. They were, a very light beige or white.
And he'd sell them.
But they would dye them using onion skin or flowers, by dyeing with flowers to get a different color.
Rug hooking them. How did they learn how to rug hook? How did that group learn? I wonder.
I don't know. I don't know how they learned.
That goes way back.
But there's a wonderful, if anybody ever goes to Newfoundland, there's a wonderful Grenfell Museum up in St. Augustine in Newfoundland.
I know. Now, Nova Scotia, they're not far apart, are they?
No, Newfoundland is north of Nova Scotia.
Okay, I know Nova Scotia.
And Nova Scotia, there's a town called Cheticamp.
Yeah.
And there, it's really strange how, depending on what part of the country or the world you're from, sort of decides what type of materials you use for your rugs. Yeah. And up in Nova Scotia, in Cheticamp, this town that's very well known for hooking mats, they do it all out of yarn.
Well,
They're
just
all
yarn,
made
yarn.
just yarn, and they make these adorable little mats. But these adorable little mats go at least the minimum $30.
What do people do with the mats? Are they to put on coffee tables? Or?
They can use them as a hot plate or a mat on their table.
Out of yarn.
Mm-hmm.
You could. So it seems to me as if I know how to knit. If I knitted something, finish it off at the ends, you could sell it. I don't know what I'd sell it for. I mean, what people would use it for. I've heard that in rescue centers, pets can have it to lay on, kitty cats.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking what people would do with something like that in their home.
Well, they coasters. They make small ones for coasters.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
yeah.
little ones.
Yeah.
And they're adorable.
Bookmarks.
They have a little flower on them.
Yeah.
and then larger for like hot mats or just a nice mat on your table. But they're beautiful, and they make them. They take a piece of material that size, you know, that I made that rug, and probably have 30 mats drawn on there, and they all take turns making a mat, and then they cut them and finish them off.
It's almost like a quilting circle in a way.
Mm-hmm. But hooking with yarn, we have a vendor that comes every year, and that's all she does. She makes rugs out of yarn. Mm-hmm.
Gretchen, how again can they get a hold of you, and then about the Woodstock Fair coming up?
They can reach me at Gretch, Gretchg at verizon.net. And our Woodstock, our hook-in is going to be held at the Woodstock Fairground in Woodstock, Connecticut on Saturday, June 16th from 9 to 3. And it's $5 for anybody who just wants to walk in and see everybody making their rugs. And if they're interested, don't hesitate to ask anybody to show you how they're making their rug. And all the people are very eager to teach anybody that wants to know about it.
That sounds really good. You seem like a very relaxed person, and I bet you'd be, like I said before, be a very good teacher for this. Rug hooking. Who knew? I mean, I've learned a lot today about it, and I'm glad I read the article, and you got the fair coming up. Thank you for being with us so much, Gretchen.
Thank you very much.
All right, and we'll see you next time. I'll be my guest.